Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So the man who attacked Paul Pelosi has been sentenced to prison. I'm sure you guys all remember this. In October of 2022, a man named David DePape broke into the home of then Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, broke in the middle of the night. He bludgeoned Pelosi's 82-year-old husband with a hammer, Paul Pelosi, and surprisingly, he survived. DePape admitted his intended target was Nancy Pelosi. He told the investigators that he was going to wait for her, he was going to tie her up, he was going to hold her against her will, he was going to force her to answer questions. And if DePape believed that she was lying, he said he was going to break her knees. He was going to break her kneecaps with that hammer. So Nancy Pelosi was thankfully in Washington, D.C. at the time, so he held her husband hostage instead. At least until Paul Pelosi was able to grab his cell phone, he got to the bathroom and he called 911. Now, shortly after the police arrived, you guys have probably seen the video, before they could take DePape into custody, he lunged at Paul Pelosi, or Paul Pelosi tried to grab the hammer. He lunged at him, then he struck him in the head, got him in the arm and the hand as well. So he caused 2 skull fractures and various other injuries. And DePape hasn't shown any remorse for his actions. Since he was arrested, he has spewed out all kinds of right-wing talking points, conspiracy theories, QAnon BS. He told a reporter his only regret was that he, quote, didn't get more of them. So the police also found a list. He had drafted this list showing other intended victims, other targets that he had, all Democrats, by the way, and people who support the Democratic Party. But of course, MAGA spun all kinds of fairy tales. They had all these new conspiracy theories. They just cannot admit that they have some serious psychos on their side. All they wanted to do was cover up the fact that they inspired and radicalized yet another lunatic into committing a horrific act of violence. So anyway, DePape was convicted late last year. They convicted him of attempted kidnapping of a federal officer and assault on an immediate family member of a federal official. So the prosecutor had requested 50 years in prison for those 2 convictions. They wanted 30 years for one crime, 20 years for the other. But they told the judge, we will be okay if you allow 10 of those years to overlap as a concurrent sentence. So in other words, DePape, under what the prosecutor wanted, would serve 40 years in prison instead of 50. The probation office, though, they recommended 25 years in prison and then 5 years of probation. And DePape's attorney asked for only 14 years in prison. So Justice Jacqueline Scott Corley presided over DePape's case, and she referred to DePape's violence as, quote, completely gratuitous. And she expressed concern that his actions could scare other people away from serving in public office. So in the end, the judge sentenced DePape to 30 years in prison, and she said he will receive credit for time served, so a little less than 2 years at this point. So this was his federal case. DePape is still facing state charges of attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and elder abuse. So that state trial starts next week. It starts on May 22nd with jury selection. So I will definitely let you know how that goes down, but chances are this guy is never leaving prison. So there you go. Again, one less Trump voter, I guess, in November. All right, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Things have kind of stalled out, so a lot of you still watching, being shady and not subscribed. What's up with that? All right, I appreciate all of you, and if you can donate, so appreciate that as well. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.